Every few months, a new pop star goes viral, and the story is always the same. They grew up in a small town. Their parents weren't in the industry. They just had a dream, worked hard, and one day the right person heard their music and everything changed. That's the story you're sold. That's the story that gets repeated in every interview, every mini documentary, every Instagram caption. But when you actually start pulling the thread, and when you look at the managers, the early budgets, the schools, the connections, the story falls apart almost immediately. Because making it in pop music today has nothing to do with luck. It has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with how much money your family was willing to spend before anyone even knew your name. So let's talk about what it actually costs to become a pop star in 2024. Before a label will even take a meeting with you, you need a polished demo, not a bedroom recording, a professional demo. That's anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000. You need a manager, a real one, not your uncle. A manager with relationships at the labels, which means you're either paying a retainer or giving up 15 to 20% of money you haven't made yet. You need a social media following, tens of thousands minimum, hundreds of thousands ideally, before anyone in the industry takes you seriously. And building that following, that means content, production, PR, and time. Time you can only afford if you don't have to work a real job. And this is before a single record deal is signed. See, there was a time when none of this was required. When Mariah Carey was working as a waitress in New York, a friend slipped her demo tape to the head of Columbia Records at a party. He played it in his car. He signed her. The talent was enough. The door existed for anyone with a voice that was impossible to ignore. That door is closed now, and what replaced it is a system that runs almost entirely on family money and inherited connections. Let's start with Taylor Swift because her story is probably the most revealing. The official version goes like this. Small-town girl from a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania moved to Nashville at 14 to chase her dream, got discovered, and became the biggest pop star on the planet. That's a beautiful story. It's also incomplete. Taylor's father, Scott Swift, was a senior financial advisor at Merrill Lynch. He founded his own division within the company. When Taylor was 11 and the labels in Nashville passed on her demo, her parents didn't give up. They hired a major New York talent manager named Dan Dimtrow, who got Taylor a modeling deal with Abercrombie & Fitch, got one of her songs placed on a Maybelline compilation CD, and used all of that to build a professional portfolio so that labels would take her seriously. All of that costs money, real money. But here's the part that doesn't show up in the documentaries. When Taylor was about to sign with Big Machine Records, her father, Scott, bought a 3% stake in the label. He paid somewhere around $500,000 for it. So before Taylor Swift had a single song on the radio, her family had already invested in the label that would release her music. And then her parents packed up their entire life. Scott transferred to the Nashville office. Her mom, Andrea, quit her career entirely. They relocated the whole family to Tennessee so Taylor could be close to the industry. That's not a rags to riches story. That's a calculated, heavily financed operation that took years and significant money to execute. Taylor's talent is real. Nobody is saying otherwise. But the idea that she made it yours, that she beat the odds like everyone else, that's the lie. Now look at Billie Eilish. Because Billie's whole brand was built on the bedroom discovery. You know the story. Ocean Eyes, SoundCloud, 17 years old. Discovered overnight. The internet found her. But when Ocean Eyes was being recorded, her brother Phineas had already spent years in the industry. He'd acted on Glee. He'd been writing and pitching songs to established artists. He was already connected. Their manager, Danny Rukason, wasn't some stranger who stumbled across a SoundCloud account. He was a family friend who worked at an established talent management company. The discovery was a phone call, and their parents weren't outsiders either. Billie's mother, Maggie Baird, had acted on Friends and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Her father worked with Will Ferrell and Melissa McCarthy, both working Hollywood actors. And they made a deliberate choice. They homeschooled Billie and Phineas so the two of them could pursue music full-time without having to worry about anything else. Think about that for a second. The freedom to pursue your art full-time at 14. No part-time job, no school that drains your schedule, no financial pressure, just music all day, supported by a family that could afford to make that choice. That's not luck, that's infrastructure. But what happens when a family doesn't just fund a career? What happens when they buy into the system itself? Because that's the part the industry really doesn't want to talk about. It's not just about private vocal coaches and recording studios in the house, though that's part of it. It's about the way money buys access to the actual gatekeepers, the managers with the right relationships, the producers who are already in the rooms where decisions get made, the connections that get you in front of the right A&R executive before your first song even exists. Ariana Grande's family ran a multi-million-dollar government contracting company in Boca Raton, one of the wealthiest cities in Florida. Before Nickelodeon, they had been funding years of vocal coaches, acting training, dance lessons, and Broadway connections. By the time Ariana walked into that victorious audition, she wasn't a kid with a dream. She was a product of almost a decade of professional development, all quietly financed behind the scenes. Sabrina Carpenter grew up in a 5,000 square foot home in a wealthy suburb north of Philadelphia. When she got serious about music at age 10, her dad built her a professional recording studio inside the house. And her connection to the Disney industry machine? It came through her aunt, Nancy Cartwright, the woman who has voiced Bart Simpson for 35 years, who connected Sabrina to a manager, who connected her to the producer of Lizzie McGuire, who was Disney Channel's go-to person for turning kids into pop stars, the small-town Pennsylvania girl who got discovered. That's the story they tell. The 5,000 square foot house, the home studio, and Bart Simpson as your aunt. That's the story they leave out. See, this isn't about attacking these artists. Their talent is real. Most of them are genuinely gifted. This is about the hundreds of thousands of kids who are just as gifted, who have the voice, the stage presence, the songwriting ability, but whose parents can't afford a manager, can't afford to relocate, can't afford to quit their jobs, can't afford to build a studio in the house, can't afford to buy equity in a record label. Those kids don't get discovered. They work the same job for 40 years and occasionally sing in the shower. The music industry doesn't have a talent problem. It never did. It has an access problem. And access has a price tag that most people in the world cannot pay. And that's why your favorite pop star didn't make it. They bought it. If you want to see exactly how deep this goes, watch this next. It covers the label contracts that trap artists once they're in, because getting in is expensive. Getting out is even worse. I'll see you there.